Welcome to the Child Development and Guidance Center Parent Education Video Series.
Hi everyone, my name is Nadege Smith Lambert. I am a mother of two children. I have a 13-year-old daughter and a 2.5-year-old son. As you know, as a mother, when you have two children, as the second one goes by, time goes by, you look at probably the differences or the similarities to the first child. So I noticed a few delays, which I was worried and concerned about. For instance, at 6 months or 5 months, my baby, my son, was not sitting. So that was a delay for his age, and also close to becoming one, he was not walking as yet, and it did not look like he was going to walk anytime soon. So that was a major delay to me. I brought it up to his pediatrician at the time. We noticed some slanting of his neck, so he was diagnosed at the time with something called torticollis. We were referred to a private therapist, physiotherapist, because they said what he needed is therapy, physiotherapy. So I brought him, I think it was every month for one session, but I still did not, I felt like as a mother, I still did not utilize all my resources. I got concerned because I'm seeing my son is going to be 1 year old and he's not walking. Somebody told me about a physiotherapist at the OKAU hospital. I tried my best to get an appointment with her, which I did, luckily, and I'm so grateful for that. When she met my son, his name is Nate Lambert, when she met Nate for the very first time, there were certain things, his dad and I went to the first appointment, and there were certain things she brought to our attention. I had this baby at home for almost a year, and I never even realized that he was barely moving his left side. It's only when I met with that doctor at OKU, Dr. Sybil Edwards, she told me he's not moving the left side, and then she put him on a mat, and then she showed us, and then she said, I cannot guarantee you that at his age, almost one, that his issue can be corrected, because it should have, he should have gotten therapy at a certain level when he was much younger. That was disappointing, and I remember crying at the hospital. And I remember she saying to me, Mommy, don't cry. You have to remember that there is a time for everything under the sun. And at that moment, it touched me. She said to me, there's a perfect place for you to go. Do you know about the Early Childhood Development Center? And I said, no. She said, you never heard about it? I said, no. I said, where is it located? She said, in La Claire. I said, oh, I think I know where that place is. To me, before, the drivers of the ministry would go to drop disabled children there. And she said, yes, but they don't only deal with disabled children. They deal with all children. They do speech therapy. They do physiotherapy. And I said, oh, really? And she said, yes. She said, I think that this is the best place for you to go. She said they deal with children, and here we deal with children as well, but we do not have all the toys that they can use to stimulate him. We do not have half of the things, half of the resources that they would have to be able to do the therapy that he requires. She said to me, I'll try to get you an appointment, but you know, normally there's a waiting time, so you have to have a little patience. Miss Elaine reached out and she said, you were referred by Dr. Sybil Edward. Miss Elaine is my son's physiotherapist, which I mean, I love her like she's family. She told me about, she called me and she said to me, I cannot guarantee you can get an appointment this month or next month. My heart broke when she told me that. She said, how easy it is for you that when I call you that you can run to the appointment. I said to her, to be honest, I'm at work. I love my job. I love work. But if you tell me to come now, I will leave work and I will come to you. And I got the opportunity to go to Childhood Center. I have to be honest, I was taken aback. I mean, I'd seen the structure, a place I have passed several times in La Claire, but when I actually went there, it wasn't just the cleanliness or the environment, the physical building, it was the people. It was like, almost I walked into family. It was, let me say, there was no feeling like, it was almost like a feeling like I just felt so comfortable. I felt so relaxed. I felt like I came to the right place and I would have gotten the much needed assistance that I needed at the time. And I am truly grateful to Early Childhood Development Center for guiding me, for giving me the encouragement, because they did not just give me the skills, but they also continuously encouraged me. They followed up. And it's parents, guardians, I do not ever want to hear somebody say that they did not remember the appointment, because after they give you the date when you're leaving for the appointment, for your next appointment, they send regular messages. They send you a reminder the day before to remind you, and early enough to remind you of your appointments. The therapy will not work if you don't do what you have to do at home and if you don't keep your appointments. It took a community, a group of us, to make things right and to practice what we were being taught. I am truly, truly grateful for Early Childhood Development Center, and I urge you to not be afraid. And if you have a child with any delay, you do not have to worry and do not feel like people will think that your child have an issue. It's better you correct the issue while they're young than you wait for when they get older. I am very pleased with the service that I get on a monthly basis. I am very pleased and happy. And I take pleasure today in referring any child to the Early Childhood Development Center.
Welcome to the Child Development and Guidance Center. This is the Child Development and Guidance Center located in Leclerc, Castries. Our main office is located upstairs. The Child Development and Guidance Center is a private, non-profit organization providing early intervention services for children with developmental delays and disabilities. This team of specialists works to provide the highest standard of evidence-based early intervention services for children from birth to 5 years old. We provide developmental assessments. We also provide early intervention services which include speech and language therapy, occupational therapy, early stimulation, play therapy, DIR floor time intervention, and behavior support. Early intervention is the key to progress. Early intervention is family-centered. It considers the unique needs of each child and family. Early intervention is team-based. It involves working with multiple professionals, teachers, and therapists. Early intervention is relationship-based. It involves forming close relationships with the child, parents, and caregivers. Why does early intervention matter? Let's listen to leading experts from the Harvard Center for the Developing Child talk about how early experiences help to grow the brains of young children.
A child's experiences during the earliest years of life have a lasting impact on the architecture of the developing brain. Genes provide the basic blueprint, but experiences shape the process that determines whether a child's brain will provide a strong or weak foundation for all future learning, behavior, and health. During this important period of brain development, billions of brain cells called neurons send electrical signals to communicate with each other. These connections form circuits that become the basic foundation of brain architecture. Circuits and connections proliferate at a rapid pace and are reinforced through repeated use. Our experiences and environment dictate which circuits and connections get more use. Connections that are used more grow stronger and more permanent. Meanwhile, connections that are used less fade away through a normal process called pruning. Well-used circuits create lightning-fast pathways for neural signals to travel across regions of the brain. Simple circuits form first, providing a foundation for more complex circuits to build on later. Through this process, neurons form strong circuits and connections for emotions, motor skills, behavioral control, logic, language, and memory during the early critical period of development. With repeated use, these circuits become more efficient and connect to other areas of the brain more rapidly. While they originate in specific areas of the brain, the circuits are interconnected. You can't have one type of skill without the others to support it. Like building a house, everything is connected, and what comes first forms a foundation for all that comes later.
Interacting with your children is one of the main experiences that they need to help grow their brains.
The The key to forming strong brain architecture is what's known as serve and return interaction with adults. In this developmental game, new neural connections form in the brain as young children instinctively serve through babbling, facial expressions, and gestures. And adults return the serve, responding in a very directed, meaningful way. It starts very early in life, when a baby coos and the adult interacts and directs the baby's attention to a face or hand. This interaction forms the foundation of brain architecture upon which all future development will be built. It helps create neural connections between all the different areas of the brain, building the emotional and cognitive skills children need in life. For example, here's how it works for literacy and language skills. When the baby sees an object, the adult says its name. This makes connections in the baby's brain between particular sounds and their corresponding objects. Later, adults show young children that those objects and sounds can also be represented by marks on a page. With continued support from adults, children then learn how to decipher writing and eventually to write themselves. Each stage builds on what came before. Ensuring that children have adult caregivers who consistently engage in serve and return interaction, beginning in infancy, builds a foundation in the brain for all the learning, behavior, and health that follow. Learning to deal with stress is an important part of healthy development. When experiencing stress, the stress response system is activated. The body and brain go on alert. There's an adrenaline rush, increased heart rate, and an increase in stress hormone levels. When the stress is relieved after a short time, or a young child receives support from caring adults, the stress response winds down and the body quickly returns to normal. In severe situations, such as ongoing abuse and neglect, where there is no caring adult to act as a buffer against the stress response stays activated. Even when there is no apparent physical harm, the extended absence of response from adults can activate the stress response system. Constant activation of the stress response overloads developing systems, with serious, lifelong consequences for the child. This is known as toxic stress. Over time, this results in a stress response system set permanently on high alert. In the areas of the brain dedicated to learning and reasoning, the neural connections that comprise brain architecture are weaker and fewer in number. Science shows that the prolonged activation of stress hormones in early childhood can actually reduce neural connections in these important areas of the brain at just the time when they should be growing new ones. Toxic stress can be avoided if we ensure that the environments in which children grow and develop are nurturing, stable, and engaging.
Here are a few things to remember after you are referred to the Child Development and Guidance Center. There is a waiting list for new assessments due to the large number of referrals. The average wait time is 4 to 5 months. Our limited human resources also affects appointment wait times. Appointments for intervention are in high demand, so every effort must be made to make your appointment. If you miss an appointment without a valid reason, it may take months to get another appointment. Parents and caregivers play a very important role in ensuring that therapy goals are carried over in the home. The mother must attend the initial appointment if she is the legal guardian of the child. Other parents and caregivers living with the child may also attend the initial appointment. You may receive a diagnosis at your initial appointment. You will receive a WhatsApp text reminder on the day before your appointment. This is a courtesy text, but it is your responsibility to remember your appointment. If you are unable to make the appointment, please inform us at least 24 hours before the date so that we can offer the appointment to another family.
Thank you for viewing this video, and we look forward to welcoming you and your family soon.